Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Elite Wrestling World. I am your host GhostSaad. Thank you guys for joining me right here for AEW Dynamite post show review. What a banger show that was. Stacked card for tonight, some very good wrestling and some stories are moving forward going into the revolution. So let's get dive into it and talk about that. So we started off with Toni introducing the men's world champion MJF to the ring. MJF immediately told Shivani to shut his triple chin mouth and ran down the crowd before saying they are looking at a man who wears beautiful watches, custom suits, ride in helicopters, and he's the best wrestler on God's green earth. And last week, Bandito was the first of many losers to find out the hard way that 2026 is the year of the devil, and no one is on the level of the devil. So Brody King comes out, he confronts MJF. Brody King said he wanted a match against MJF for the AEW Men's World Championship. MJF said no, and he explained that it's not about that he's afraid of Brody King, but it's like that King hasn't beaten any elite talent to deserve this championship match. So until he beats elite talent, the match won't take place. Making one thing clear, if King ever interrupts the champ again, we are going to have a probe. King barks and MJF quickly hightails from the ring. So again, a very good segment, and we are certainly getting this match. But before that, Brody King have to beat some talent. So I'm pretty much looking forward to that match. It's gonna be a fantastic title defense for MJF again. Next up, we saw the new trios champion, Hangman, Mike Bailey, and Jet Kevin Knight backstage celebrating, and they are talking about how they're gonna name their team. So Knight suggested Jet Set Rodeo, Bailey suggested Horsecock, and Page cut him off, and Page said he will take care of that name. And after that, we saw Mike Bailey taking on Samoa Joe one on one. Very much enjoyed the commentary, putting over Bailey big wins in the C2 as a way to possibly build up the singles run for Mike Bailey. Aside from the crazy amount of interference in this match, I enjoyed the match itself very well. Bailey looked very strong, and Joe always looked fantastic in these matches. I know why Kevin didn't show up, as he's presumably uh, preparing for his main event match tonight, but why was Hangman not out there when there was distractions? So Ops interfered so much in this match, and we like to think that Bailey would have at least a little assistant in this match, but though he didn't have. And Joe controlled most of the match, and for the finish we saw Bailey hit the time adventure in the corner, wanted ultimate weapon but landed on his feet, selling the bad leg. And Joe quickly uh, plant him with a muscle buster and get the win. And we saw post match MJF looked on backstage as the Ops stood tall in the ring. So again, very good match. Next up, we saw Death Riders, John Moxley, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta versus the Don Callis family, Hechicero, Sarcher, and Rocky Romero in a street fight. While we all know Moxley has been a babyface for a while, this was a very good way to get the crowd start spotting the rest of the Death Riders by putting them against the hated Callis family. It wouldn't be a street fight if Moxley didn't take some sort of bumps, and this was no different. I like that Garcia was the one to get the W for his team, and it does feel like he and Utah have been the Death Riders lucky for the past few months. We can assume that this program will continue, as we saw Moxley Moxley talking to Callis after a match that he he tell his boy that he know where to find him, and I am assuming Moxley is talking about Okada because he beats Okada in the Continental Classic final. So again, if that rematch happens, it's gonna be a fantastic match again. and I'm pretty much looking forward to that. Moxley applying a bulldog choke on Rocky Romero. Romero rolls out only for Garcia to meet him with a pile driver and then a dragon tamer, and Rocky Romero taps out. So again, a very good match, street fight for that thread is a very good win. Next up, we saw FTR versus the new signings in AEW, Jordan Oliver and Alex Price, a new young tag team. This could rank right up there with one of the best sprints ever on Dynamite. A one segment action packed, never slowed down match where Price and Oliver got plenty of time to shine in their debut. Despite that, FTR still overcame the fast paced onslaught and were able to stand tall before their title match with Davis and Doyle next week. I can't wait to see what's next for Olivier and Price in AEW, but I think they look fantastic in this match and they delivered big time. But obviously, FTR is not gonna lose that match. So again, a very good debut for the new young tag team, Jordan Olivier and Alex Price. Next up, we saw the most awaited match, Kenny Omega, Josh Alexander, one on one, and another really strong first time match tonight. And as I know, this was a dream match for Alexander because he said multiple times about that a great way to get Kenny back into the singles rank on his quest to the AEW World Championship. I would love to see this match again down the line because it's fantastic. So Josh Alexander attacks Kenny Omega during his entrance, slamming him into the ring steps before exposing the ringside area. It was it was all Alexander at the start, hitting some somersault fireman's carry out of the corner, hitting some body slams and all that stuff. So Josh Alexander dominated the first half of this match. Then Kenny Omega comes back with a V trigger when he returned to the ring and powerbomb to follow as one winged angel put Alexander away. MJF was shown watching backstage in the post match as well. So again, a very good win at the end for Kenny Omega. Omega took the mic and said Callis struck while the iron was hot while he wasn't 100%, but he's happy to report in his new home of Orlando that it is good as Omega has felt in the last few years. So Omega is ready to get back his world championship, and I think that was a fantastic post-match promo from Kenny Omega. He looks fantastic tonight. Next up, we saw women's action. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus the Timeless Love Bombs in a women's tag team match. I said earlier in the night that Threaders feuding with the Callis family will make them baby faces. Well, almost all of them. As I was reminded, Marina Shafir is still strongly feuding with Toni Storm. This could be seen as an upset, and it was Ford who got the pin after recovering from his injury. So I could certainly see a tag title shot in the future for her and Megan Bayne. I think might be at Revolution these two can challenge Babes of Wrath for the women's tag titles. And for the match, we saw Marina Shafir jumped over the barricade and pulled Storm into Mother's Milk submission as Ford pinned Shirakawa to get the win. So we are still getting the feud between Marina Shafir and Toni Storm. So let's see what's happened in this feud next. And in the main event, which was Swerve Strickland versus trio champion Kevin Knight. The crowd were on their feet down the stretch for this match, and I think that was a very fantastic showcase of Kevin Knight, how he's a generational talent and he's gonna be a world champion in the near future. And it was always Swerve who's gonna win this match. We don't see anyone but Swerve winning this match because he is on the cusp of getting a title shot against MJF. So again, it will be interesting to see how we can come off with a challenger because Swerve is looking to challenge Hangman, Joe, Omega, Darby. So we need to figure out who's gonna challenge first at Revolution. And for the match, we saw Knight low breached, but Strickland flipped on his feet, tried to recover, but Knight was there with the slingshot dive. That looks great. Then we saw a torture rack backbreaker from Strickland, put him in control, and he followed up with his diving uppercut from the corner. Knight missed the rolling frog splash, allowing Strickland to hit his rolling flatliner. Strickland called for the house call, but Knight dodges and successfully hit his leaping frog splash for 2. And Knight just narrowly broke the count of 9 from outside. Ultimately, Knight managed a massive Hurricane Rana that led to a coast to coast and a UFO splash, but Strickland just caught his foot on the rope to break the pin. Strickland got his knees, smiling as the Knight hit house call before trying a fireman's carry. Hard hitting shots traded, both hit dueling pump knees, and Knight flew for a lariat, but at the same time Strickland hit the house call in the air, and that looks fantastic. And and Strickland connected on a water breaker and a big pressure to get the win in a great main event. And I think the sequences they did was fantastic. It was a star making performance by Kevin Knight, and I think it's fantastic to see him on this level right now. So that was the show, folks, and please guys like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching Elite Wrestling World.